Sat in the blocks a little bit longer though. Gout Gout did not want to tempt fate. He gets up on Oos. He's out there a little bit wider now. Is Aiden Murphy, but here comes Gout Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe. Unbelievable 2.2.
He's just 17, but he's already running faster than most Olympians ever will. Gout Gout's 19.84 second 200-meter sprint didn't just break the clock, it broke expectations. On April 13th, 2025, at the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, something happened that stunned everyone. A 17-year-old sprinter from Queensland, Gout Gout, shocked the crowd with his incredible 200-meter run. He crossed the finish line in just 19.84 seconds. That time alone was amazing, but the fact that it came from a teenager made it even more unbelievable. There was a plus 2.2 meters per second tailwind helping him, which is slightly above the legal limit for records, but still, his speed was unreal. It wasn't just about how fast he ran, but how he ran. Smooth, powerful, and almost effortless. Usually, sprinting is ruled by athletes in their mid-20s, but that day, this teenager showed that he isn't just the future of sprinting. He's already making his mark right now. Before Perth, hardly anyone knew who Gout Gout was, but that changed overnight. Born in 2007 to South Sudanese parents who moved to Australia, Gout grew up in Logan, a suburb south of Brisbane that's known more for rugby league than track stars. His family's journey has been all about resilience and new beginnings, and now Gout is becoming the brightest part of their story. Standing almost 6 feet 3 inches tall with long legs and a strong stride, Gout was always fast, even before he started sprinting seriously. Teachers and friends noticed how quickly he could accelerate, whether he was playing soccer or just running in PE class. Soon, coaches saw his potential and guided him towards athletics. He started proper training in his early teens, and by the time he was 15, he was already running 200 meters in under 21 seconds. But still, no one, not even those who believed in him the most, expected what he did in April 2025. Breaking the barrier with wind at his back, Gout's 19.84 second sprint didn't count as an official record because of the slight tailwind, but honestly, that didn't matter. For a 17-year-old to run that fast, even with some wind help, is almost unheard of. To give you an idea, the world record for under 18 athletes in the 200 meters is 20.13 seconds, set by Usain Bolt. Even Bolt didn't break 20 seconds until he turned 18. And it wasn't just about Gout's time. He completely crushed the competition. He left experienced sprinters far behind, powering down the track without even looking tired. His running form was close to perfect. Relaxed shoulders, high knees, and a strong drive. He didn't look like a junior athlete hoping to keep up. He looked like a pro putting on a masterclass. That 19.84 sent out a clear message. Gout Gout isn't just a young talent anymore. He's a real threat on the world stage. A weekend of insane speed. What makes this story even crazier is that the 19.84 wasn't an isolated flash of brilliance. Just days earlier, Gout ran a 100-meter dash in 9.99 seconds, also wind-assisted plus 3.5 meters per second and plus 2.6 meters per second in separate runs, but still a staggering time for someone who wasn't even old enough to vote. It marked him as one of the rare athletes with elite range across both the 100-meter and 200-meter sprints. And these weren't flukes. Gout had been quietly building toward this. Under the guidance of Coach Di Shepherd, he had been refining his technique and improving his speed through focused training and consistent progression. That weekend in Perth became a statement. Gout wasn't just a next big thing. He was already here, the Ostrava confirmation. But some people still wondered if his run in Perth was just a one-time thing, helped by the strong wind. That question got answered 2 months later on June 24, 2025 at the Golden Spike Meet in Ostrava, Czech Republic. This time, with perfectly legal wind conditions, Gout ran an incredible 20.02 seconds, setting a new Oceanian and Australian under-20 record. This proved that his Perth sprint wasn't just luck. It was a glimpse of what he can really do. At only 17, he was now running times that put him among the best, no matter where or when he raced. That's almost unheard of for someone his age. And it wasn't just his speed that stood out this time. His race strategy was brilliant. He ran the bend perfectly, kept his pace under control as he entered the straight, and finished strong with the calmness of a professional. Analysts couldn't stop talking about his running technique, and commentators were left asking the obvious question, just how fast can this kid go? Comparisons to legends. It's hard to watch a teenager dominate like this and not think about the legends. Usain Bolt is the first name that comes to mind, and now people are seriously comparing Gout to him. Bolt ran 19.93 seconds when he was 17. Gout ran 19.84, even though it was wind-aided, but then proved it wasn't a fluke with his legal 20.02 run. Both are tall with smooth, powerful strides and a calm presence on the track. Even Bolt noticed it and said Gout reminds him of his younger self. But at the same time, Gout is creating his own identity. He's quiet and humble, very different from the flashy celebrations we often see in sprinting. After winning, he doesn't jump around or show off. He just calmly walks back to his lane, taking in the moment. That mindset might really help him as more and more people around the world start watching his every move. The challenges ahead. No meteoric rise comes without pressure. For Gout, the challenge will be managing expectations while continuing to grow physically and mentally. He's still developing, still learning how to race, how to peak at the right times, how to recover between rounds. Injury prevention will be key. The history of sprinting is littered with young stars who flamed out due to mismanagement or burnout. But so far, Gout's team appears to be striking the right balance, allowing him to race sparingly but meaningfully, prioritizing long-term success over short-term glory. There's also the question of competition. With Paris 2024 already behind and Los Angeles 2028 in clear view, Gout's real test will come against the world's best in their prime. Ariane Knighton, Noah Lyles, and other elite sprinters are not standing still. To win at the global level, Gout will need not just talent, but the grit and consistency that define champions. An inspiration beyond the track. Beyond the stopwatch, Gout's story is already inspiring a new generation. For young Australians, especially those from migrant communities, he represents a dream realized. A kid from Logan, with roots in South Sudan, rising to become a world-class athlete on his own terms. He's already using his platform to highlight inclusivity and opportunity in sport. His presence is reshaping what the face of Australian athletics looks like and what's possible for kids from all backgrounds. In a country that hasn't historically been known for sprinting dominance, Gout is rewriting the narrative. The sprinting world has been warned. With every stride, Gout Gout is forcing the sprinting world to take notice. His 19.84 might not have been legal for records, but it was more than enough to prove a point. This teenager is a force of nature. He's not waiting for his turn, he's taking it. As the 2025 season rolls on and his performances stack up, the question now is not if he'll break records, it's when. His name is already echoing through track circles, media headlines, and fan forums. And he's just getting started.
Another really good start there, and they're away in this men's under-18 200-metre final, so we're about to wind him up and watch him go here. Gout Gout, he's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world. 20.07.
Wow.
That is not huge.
Gout Gout just did what everyone hoped wouldn't happen. He didn't just win, he destroyed the field. At only 17, he broke records, outran legends, and etched his name into history. People knew this day would come, but no one thought it'd be this soon. They were scared of the moment he'd take over. Well, that moment is here. The beginning of something unstoppable. From the very first steps on the track, those close to him knew there was something different about Gout. Born in Queensland, Australia, to South Sudanese parents who migrated in 2005, his journey started far from any spotlight. But even back at Ipswich Grammar School, teachers and coaches could see it. Quiet, focused, and unbelievably fast, he stood out, not just because he was quick, but because of the way he carried himself. He wasn't just another fast kid. He was the fast kid, and then came December 2024, the Australian All-Schools Championships. That was the day everything changed. At just 16, Gout ran the 200 meters in a mind-blowing 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history-breaking. He smashed Usain Bolt's under-18 record of 20.13 seconds, a record that had stood untouched for more than 20 years. In that single race, he didn't just beat history, he rewrote it. The record that echoed worldwide. Gout's 20th of April wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. He broke Peter Norman's 56-year-old Australian national record, and overnight, the world took notice. Track and field forums lit up, Olympic analysts started talking, and even Usain Bolt's own fans began to whisper, "Is this the one? Is Gout Gout the next sprinting phenomenon?" In a sport ruled by loud, larger-than-life stars, here was a quiet teenager with world-class speed and a calm, almost unbothered attitude. He didn't go looking for the spotlight, but the spotlight chased him anyway. Climbing higher in Perth. Then came April 2025, the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, the 200-meter final. The stakes were higher than ever, and expectations were through the roof. But Gout Gout? He didn't even flinch, and he delivered the kind of performance athletes spend their whole lives dreaming about. He ran a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd erupted. Commentators were left speechless. But there was a twist. The tailwind was just slightly over the legal limit, plus 2.2 meters per second, just 0.2 over what would have made his time official. But honestly, it didn't matter, because wind or no wind, that race made one thing clear. Gout Gout had arrived, respect and rivalry. But it wasn't just his speed that stole the headlines that day, it was what happened before the race even started. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's biggest rival in Australia, false started. Disqualified before he could even take a step. It was a brutal moment, but as the race ended and cameras zoomed in, Kennedy didn't walk away in anger. Instead, he went straight to Gout and pulled him in for an embrace. No bitterness, no ego, just pure respect. That moment went viral. Two young men chasing greatness, understanding exactly what it takes. For Kennedy, his journey continues. For Gout, it was just another brick laid on the road to legend. Not just the next Bolt. People can't help but compare him to Usain Bolt, and honestly, it makes sense. Gout's times at just 16 and 17 have already beaten what Bolt ran at the same age. But here's the thing. Gout isn't out there trying to be the next Bolt. He's building his own path. A legacy that isn't just about records, but about discipline, resilience, and that quiet fire inside him. Just 2 weeks before his incredible 19.84 run, Gout actually had a disappointing race. Most athletes would have crumbled under that kind of pressure, but not him. He trained harder, locked in his focus, and came back to run one of the fastest under 2,200-meter times ever recorded in any conditions. Behind every sprint, a relentless coach. Behind all of this is his coach, Di Shepherd. She isn't someone who came from an elite athletics background. In fact, she used to work in retail before stepping into coaching through local Little Athletics. Her journey wasn't built on privilege or big-name opportunities, but on grit, knowledge, and a clear vision. Shepherd noticed what many others missed. She didn't just focus on Gout's speed, she saw the strength of his character, and her own story is just as powerful. After surviving a near-fatal accident and going through 11 surgeries, she continues to live with chronic pain, yet remains on track every day, mentoring Australia's best. For her, Gout is a masterpiece in progress. Together, they're redefining what true coaching success looks like. A teen living like a pro. While most 17-year-olds are busy hanging out with friends or cramming for their exams, Gout's life is completely different. His days are filled with 6 training sessions a week, gym workouts, video analysis of his races. And on top of all that, he still keeps up with his schoolwork. His coach had told him early on that at this level, there's barely any social life left. Gout understood that and accepted it without any complaints, just pure commitment. That's exactly why coaches all over the world are keeping an eye on him. He doesn't just run like a professional, he thinks like one too. Europe, Florida, and what's next. And now, Gout's rise isn't just limited to Australia. In the coming months, he's heading to Europe to race against some of the best junior sprinters in the world. He'll be up against tougher competition, dealing with different climates and new challenges. But he's ready for it. What's even bigger is that he signed up to train with Olympic champion Noah Lyles in Florida. That's like learning to paint from Picasso. It shows that the very best in the sport believe in him. And now, he's getting ready to take that belief to the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, the 2032 dream. Still, everything Gout Gout is doing now is building toward one colossal moment, the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. His home soil, he'll be 24. That's when sprinters peak. That's where his team sees the final form. 2032 isn't just a goal, it's the summit, and every 200 meters, every wind-assisted sprint, every training session, it's all a climb toward that mountaintop. Bigger than speed. But what Gout stands for is so much bigger than just fast times and broken records. He's becoming the face of a new generation, one that's diverse, driven, and never shaken by pressure. He's proving that greatness doesn't always have to shout out loud. Sometimes it just runs faster than everyone else and lets the stopwatch do the talking. His inspiration isn't only Usain Bolt, he looks up to Eliud Kipchoge for his discipline and Kathy Freeman for the legacy she created. For Gout, it's not just about medals. He wants to make an impact. The whole world is watching him now. And every time he steps on the track, there's a chance something special will happen. Running a legal sub-10 in the 100 meters? Very likely. Setting a new world junior record in the 200? Completely possible. Becoming a future Olympic finalist? Almost guaranteed. But when you watch him, don't just watch for the numbers. Watch for the story. The story of an immigrant kid from Queensland with quiet confidence and a coach who believed in him when no one else did, turning into the most electrifying sprinter the world has seen since Usain Bolt. Gout Gout didn't ask for the spotlight, but he's earned it. Every stride takes him closer to history. They feared this day. Now it's here, and all we can do is watch him become a legend. Like and subscribe if you want to say you knew his name before the world did. Gout Gout isn't waiting for greatness, he's sprinting into it.
Another quick time from Bayanda Walaza. Such a talent. The next generation of sprinting. He rounded down to 9.94, so a new personal best for Walaza.
A 19-year-old just did something so fast, so shocking, it left the world speechless. He ran 100 meters in only 9.94 seconds. How did Bayanda Walaza, a teen with a wild running style, beat records no one thought he could touch? What happens next might change sprinting forever. Sports Park Mladost became the stage for something extraordinary. The 19-year-old South African sensation crossed the finish line in 9.94 seconds, breaking his previous national U20 record of 9.99 set just 2 months earlier in Pretoria. The performance sent shockwaves through the athletics community. Track and field has entered a new era. Teenagers no longer wait for their turn on the biggest stages. They're seizing them and performing incredibly well, leaving experienced athletes behind. Arion Knighton destroyed Usain Bolt's U18 200-meter record as a teenager. He now competes consistently at the highest senior level. Australia's Gout Gout turns heads with remarkable performances on the national stage. This surge of youthful excellence has fundamentally reshaped global sprinting. Evolving training methods and greater access to specialized coaching from earlier ages fuel this transformation. Bayanda Walaza stands at the forefront of this, making his own mark on the sport. Walaza's journey began taking shape in early 2023. At the Athletic South Africa U18 Championships, he showcased his skills by winning the national 200-meter title and securing silver in the 100-meter. These performances signaled his dominance across short distances. The early months of 2024 saw continued momentum building. In March, at the South Africa U20 Championships, he secured the 100-meter title with a personal best of 10.13 seconds. These performances firmly established him as a leading figure in South African sprinting at both junior and senior levels. The pinnacle of Walaza's career arrived with the 2024 Paris Olympics. Initially named as a reserve in South Africa's 4x100-meter relay squad, he traveled more to support than compete. Everything changed when Benjamin Richardson, a two-time world junior medalist, suffered an injury during the 200-meter heats. Walaza got the call. One moment he was on the sidelines, the next he was stepping into the biggest race of his life. Despite being the youngest team member, he lined up in both semifinals and final, carrying pressure well beyond his years with calm focus and quiet confidence. In the Olympic final, Walaza set things in motion, running the crucial lead-off leg. The team delivered South Africa's first-ever Olympic medal in men's 4x100-meter relay, crossing the line in an African record time of 37.57 seconds. He had earned his place not just as a runner, but as a cornerstone of a record-breaking medal-winning team. His remarkable year was far from over. Less than a month after the Olympics, he was on a plane to South America, ready to compete at the World Athletics U20 Championships in Peru. At just 18 years old, he became the first athlete since 1998 to win both 100 meters and 200 meters titles at the event. Dominating the track in Lima, he captured the sprint double and cemented his status as one of the brightest young sprinters in the world. In the 200